Crocolore? Good morning and welcome to Kitakami. Wonder why this place got to keep such a name. Anyways, the brave Olivine has arrived into town, but the problem is not knowing which town this is. But once they're situated, they find an elderly NPC to give them some direction. She points them to Kitakami, and it's a breath of seasoned air. This atmosphere is so festive, the energy's good, we got Rillaboom on the beat, and some very quick costume changes from the crew. We're up when Fried puts hair down. Eventually, they come across Carmen, who's a bit reserved at first, and her Sinistra. I swear, all these outfits are such hits, I wouldn't mind a Wano-style season with just these kind of wardrobes. Seemingly just as hot-headed as she appears in the games, Carmen instantly sparks a rivalry with Fried. So while he and his newfound opponent head off, the rest of the crew tend to their own devices. Well, out and about, Roy and Croco come across a peculiar device. So many tempting gadgets for him. But what is this thing? Even the man with the device seems just as clueless as Roy, and myself. But Bulbapedia tells me this is the Synchro device, a doohickey that seems neat in theory, but super stressful in practice. So, since this man has practically no idea what this machine does, he leaves it to Roy and Crocolore to figure out. A curious glow sparks, and a fairly rare Pokemon phenomenon occurs. Body swap. I feel like this is such a fun concept that anyone with a pet has considered.
What do these mysterious creatures think about?
Peanut butter!
Instantly, I'm reminded of Hocus Pokemon, the episode where Ash had a brief stint as a Pikachu. But that was more of a gag, and Pikachu himself didn't switch. Here it is a bit more hectic, what with the crew trying to find Roy's whereabouts while he has his crisis. Honestly, what Pokemon would you be for a day? I feel like I would go for Munchlax. Hungry and spunky, what's not to love? They attempt to set things straight, but unfortunately the machine is a one and done. You're supposed to see from your Pokemon's perspective, and see you will, Roy. So we get Crocolore's voice speaking as Roy, and Roy's voice is Crocolore. Crocolore's is especially funny to me. Close enough. Welcome back, Meowth. I will say, maybe this would have been interesting with a human and Pokemon pair who weren't seeing eye to eye. Instead, we sort of get another entry for the look how close Roy and Crocolore are pile. That said, I think this one is executed in a fun way, and there's some neat details. Like here, seeing just how skeptical Florigato looks. Makes sense with how much time Florigato may begrudgingly spend with Crocolore. It did not take long at all for Croco-Roy to come clean about the body swap, which is expectedly shocking. And if you're unfamiliar with the Synchro device like I was, it adds a nice layer of mystery to the episode too. It also seems like they're trying to keep this switcheroo under wraps. Perhaps they're not trying to make a scene, but that's somewhat hard to avoid with Murdoch's enthusiasm. While Roy's figuring out his new anatomy, he gives us a brilliant idea. Baked candy! This revelation has got Murdoch like,
write that down, write that down!
He's certainly having a better time than Carmen the sore loser, but these glimpses of her definitely raise the energy. It's nice too to see the game relevancy didn't just stop with the new season, cause at this point, Carmen just straight up wants to fight Fried. Well, be careful what you wish for. Now, I just love the way Sinistra moves. Its wobbly motions and sloppy attacks are so endearing to me. Plus, all this rage I think makes Carmen a very memorable character, and probably more so once we get to see her soft side. But Cap's deadly Thunder Punch will not be bringing that side out of her anytime soon. Later we get to see Molly, who's already set up a clinic. Give me Molly Medicaid. I really do appreciate how they're incorporating all the RBTs into this filler story. Very Arc 2. I can only guess they're keeping it so low-key because, well, they still want to enjoy the festival, which Croco-Roy does get to do when helping out a vendor who ran out of flame for his grill. But when things start to go south, he gets a save from Roy Croc. It's pretty sweet, really. Shows to me the care they have for each other transcends body. What's also funny as it comes together is Crocolore as Roy does not seem out of place. He's still the giddy, happy-go-lucky kid we all know. Their joy's just infectious, catching a whole crowd's attention. Well, that and the noodles. One of the kids at the festival gets so blown away by this display, he can't help but praising Crocolore's coolness. It just gave me such a kick to see Roy be the one flattered by that. And in the nick of time, the man from before shows up with some good news. Finally, Roy and Crocolore are able to set things right, which is great and all, but more importantly, it's Liko and Dot's turn. I mean really, who could resist? And they're even given the opportunity. Unfortunately, a la Clement, the machine ends up imploding on them. Well, hey, if these starters are anything, it's expressive, so the group should be okay. After this guffaw, we get to catch up with the rest of the crew, plus a couple extras. With everyone together now, guided by the crazy Carmen, the next stop for our heroes is Terrace Pond. Gosh, I never felt this too much in the first two story-driven arcs, but Arc 3 and now this one really make me want to play SV, which, you know, ultimately is the anime's goal, so mission accomplished. Just when you have settings that look this special, characters as engaging as Carmen, it does get the wallet itching. As for the story itself, I think it was fine, except I'd say there was sort of a lack of conflict, or rather a lack of tension to that conflict. I mean, I'm not sure what else I would have expected since Crocolore isn't exactly the deepest Pokemon, so why would his thoughts be? I do like how this episode was presented. It was a filler that felt familiar, but depicted through a unique lens. So for that, I give this episode a B.